Hello, Soulfire. My name is Christopher. I'm the AstroMedium and your host, intuitive astrologer for tonight's weekly cosmic forecast and energy update. I am so excited to be here with you all tonight as we uncover and go through all of these major energies that are on their way. This week is huge. Last week was huge. It's been a very turbulent ride, and I want to dissect some of these things, go day by day, so we can really nail down how we can access these energies, how we can work with them for our highest good and in the direction we want to go in, and we can really navigate where we're going next, because this monumental year 2020 is coming to a close and it's going out with a bang. So let's start with today. Today we have a few very important moon transits. Moon will be in Pisces, and the moon is making a conjunction to Neptune in Pisces. So we're really going to be sitting in our feelings. There's a lot of dreamy energy with that. Moon will also be squaring the North Node. So talk about our direction, talk about where we're going next. That's all North Node territory. So the moon is making a conjunction to Neptune, really getting us into our center. Our psychic centers are more awakened. Our dreams are more vivid. We'll notice last night and tonight dreams are definitely more vivid. But we also are having a little bit of confusion going on. We also today have Mercury entering Capricorn. This is a huge major energy shift, as Mercury is the ruler of the mind and how we communicate. This is going from very expansive, very wild, very fiery Sagittarius into mountainous, grounded, sturdy Capricorn. So we're going to dissect that here in a little bit. Let's move to tomorrow, Monday. We have another huge energy shift. We've got a few moon transits happening, but really the sun steals the show, and tomorrow is the epic Jupiter-Saturn conjunction of 2020 that we've all been waiting for. It's also the winter solstice. Sun will be entering Capricorn, so tomorrow we have huge energy shifts, huge energy downloads coming in, so we're going to dissect that here in a little bit as well. Let's move to Tuesday. Tuesday is a moon-ruled day, and for those of you who don't know what I mean by that, a moon-ruled day means we have no major aspects happening at 0 degrees 0 minutes. So the moon is really taking hold that day. We're really, of course, we're going to be sitting in the new Capricorn energies. Jupiter and Saturn have left Capricorn and entered Aquarius together. So we're going to be sitting in these really new Aquarius energies. So we've got a lot of shifts that are happening that we'll still be sitting in. But Tuesday the moon will be in Aries. Good Lord, I can't wait for that. When the moon is in Aries, I'm always on fire. And the moon in Aries will be conjunct Chiron. So we're really going to have quite a day on Tuesday, because the moon will also be making a square to Mercury, so there's going to be some confusion, some misunderstandings that are happening. A lot of triggers may come up for us, people not being sensitive to us saying things and not realizing that we're not being sensitive to other people's needs. This is not necessarily moon conjunct Chiron energy, but when you have the moon making that conjunction to Chiron and when it's squaring Mercury, we've got some miscommunications that will happen. But the moon will also be making a trine to Venus. This is going to lighten that energy a little bit, so we've got to be mindful what we tune to, as we're going to be getting into some moods that day. But there's going to be some excitement around relationships, some desire for intimacy. For those of us who are not in relationships, that we're going to be stimulated to more creativity. This creativity is going to come from the heart, not necessarily the mind, so make sure you access that. Now let's move to Wednesday. Wednesday. Oh my goodness. This is what I have been waiting for, because I have been feeling this energy build within me. I've been watching it build in the collective. We thought that the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction was, and on the winter solstice of all days, was going to be the most epic thing that happened. Not necessarily. We've got Mars and Pluto squaring off for the third and final time, as they are going to send 2020 off with a bang. This is a major transit. We've experienced it 2 times so far, but one or both of the planets were retrograde at the time, and we're going to go more into detail about this. Mars in Aries is also going to be making... Hold on, I'm getting a little information here. Okay, I need to write that down. Give me just a second. Sorry, I wasn't expecting them to do this. They're going to talk about a few things. Okay. All right. I'm going to get to that here in a little bit. I'm getting some information here about. It feels like it's around and about this Mars square Pluto energy. What this energy represents to me is there's something that is coming and something that's already building up, a resistance it feels like. So we're going to go into more details about this. I usually like to get these ideas before I'm live, but that's all right. They decided to give it to me right now. Mercury in Capricorn on Wednesday will also be making a square to Chiron. So we're going to have Mercury making some powerful transits this week, starting with Chiron. He's entered Capricorn. Now he's going to make that square off with Chiron, and this is going to really stimulate our minds towards healing. A lot of the healing crises we've been going through. Chiron is now in retro shade, stationing direct, so we've got a lot of things that are surfacing now that are ready to get transmuted and healed, and Mercury square Chiron is going to assist us with that. It's going to come as a challenge, but it is an assistance. The moon that day will also be conjunct Mars and square Pluto. So if that wasn't happening perfectly enough, so we have Mars square Pluto going 0 degrees on Wednesday and the moon conjuncting Mars, really fusing their energies together, and then the moon squaring off with Pluto. So the moon is adding to that emotional intensity and that fiery intensity. There's a lot of transformation that's going to come with that. There's a lot of power play, so we're going to get into that here in a little bit. Let's move to Thursday. Thursday is another moon ruled day, and the moon is going to make a lot of aspects that day. So it's going to be an up and down day, but for the most part, pretty sturdy, pretty steady. If we are not overly reactive, although there is going to be a lot of challenges that we may feel that we have to face. The moon will be making a square to Jupiter and Saturn, which are now in Aquarius. That's going to be more early in the day. So we've got some time later in the day to make up for that, because that's going to hit everybody, especially because Jupiter and Saturn have now entered Aquarius, and this energy is sending a signal throughout all of us right now on some level, whether it be unconscious or conscious. The moon will also be conjunct Uranus and Lilith that day. This is very important because the next day we've got some Uranus and Lilith energy with Mercury in the mix. So the moon is almost preparing us for that. Moon conjunct Lilith and moon conjunct Uranus. They're not opposing energies. Uranus and Lilith are very similar in certain ways. So for the moon to be conjunct them, we're really going to be sitting in some emotional excitement, emotional rebellious energy that day. And also the moon will be making a trine to Mercury. So although we're going to have some emotional upsets, there's going to be some rebellious behaviors, some outlandish behaviors, sometimes shocking, we at least will be in harmony with the mind and able to express our emotions more easily that day. And we're going to need that because expression is all what the later days of this week is all about. So let's move to Friday. Friday we have some moon activity. The moon will be making a quincunx to Venus, this can cause some emotional turbulence within relationships. For those of you who are very creative, it can cause for you to have writer's block, or if you're in a creative flow, it can stop the creative flow. But the moon will be sextiling Neptune. So what you want to do is get out of your art and get away from your relationship for a bit. Tune to your higher self, tune to that ethereal awareness, pull in some energy downloads, get more in tune with an inspirational side of your creativity, a more dreamy side, not trying to get something to make sense. That's really what is going to happen that day. But luckily, Mercury will be making trines to Uranus and Lilith. So on Friday we have Mercury making a trine to Uranus at 0 degrees and making a trine to Lilith at 0 degrees. This is going to stimulate us mentally towards more excitement. There's a lot, with moon sextile Neptune and Mercury trine Uranus that day, those are our two planets that are really our intuitive and psychic planets. One more mentally, one more emotionally downloading information. It's like the difference between claircognizance, clairsentience, clairvoyance, and clairaudience. We've got all of them working that day, so it's very powerful. And Mercury trine Lilith, which is going to take us in our conversations and in our mind to some darker places, more intense places, some emotionally empowered and divine feminine empowerment energies are coming with that as well. So let's move to Saturday. This is a mixed day. It's not going to feel so great because we have the sun making a square to Chiron, which is going to make us feel like we're not healed. There's more healing to be done, and that's ego healing, okay? That is some blows to the ego that may come up. Things that have been coming up for us in the past 4 or 5 months, especially during Chiron's retrograde, are coming to the surface, and now they're going to hit our ego, our sense of self, our vitality. So there's going to be some sensitivity there. But the moon will be making a sextile to Pluto, and the moon will be making a trine to Jupiter and Saturn, because the moon will go from Taurus to Gemini. This is going to emotionally support us during all of this ego drama that's going to go on. So if you sit in your feelings and you're not afraid to feel your feelings by Saturday, this will pass. Sun transits are very fast. So we've got a lot of fast transits, but 2 major long-term transits that we have been feeling build up: Jupiter-Saturn conjunction and the Mars square Pluto energy, which is so strong. So really, we have so much Mercury activity this week and so much of this shifting energy. We need to kind of nail down where we can start going from here. So we've got major changes coming. Tomorrow is the great event. In ancient times, Jupiter and Saturn conjoining and making their great conjunction was the biggest deal in astrology, because they had not discovered Chiron and Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. So their conjunction was called the Grand or Great Conjunction. And really, I could spend an entire video talking about this. And there is a lot of, I don't want to say hoopla, but there's a lot of bullshit going on around what's going to happen tomorrow. And I do believe something much more major is going to happen. This Jupiter-Saturn conjunction is a more rare version of this conjunction, because Jupiter and Saturn form a conjunction every 20 years. But this is very special. It's now in the sign of Aquarius. And usually Jupiter and Saturn will conjoin in different elements, so earth, air, fire, and water, through those signs for hundreds of years. So now we're going out of the earth signs and now they're going into the air sign. So Aquarius starting that off. And Aquarius, let's talk about Aquarius. Aquarius represents the future. He's ruled by Uranus, so he's the rebel of the zodiac. Aquarius is a free thinker. He wants his own individuality, but with Aquarius energy and with this Jupiter and Saturn energy in Aquarius, this is all about restructuring, Saturn, and expanding, Jupiter, our ideas of ourselves as individuals. And this is also restructuring the collective as well, because Aquarius is all about being an individual and being free to be an individual. Aquarius is the weirdo. He's the eccentric guy in the corner, hair messy. He doesn't want to fit in. He's the anti-sign. Whatever you want him to do, he's going to do the opposite. He's sometimes a rebel without a cause. But that energy is really needed right now, because Aquarius is also the humanitarian of the zodiac. Aquarius is a big picture energy like Sagittarius. So Jupiter's loving being in this Aquarius energy. And Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius. Saturn traditionally ruled Capricorn and Aquarius. So Saturn, he is strong. He feels confident while he's in Aquarius. And he will be in Aquarius throughout 2021, 2022. So this Saturn energy is going to extend beyond the Jupiter energy. Jupiter's going to make a dance between Aquarius and Pisces in the year 2021. He will make most of his journey in 2021 in Aquarius. But Saturn is really where I'm focused, because Saturn, he's going to constrict things. He's going to restrict things, while Jupiter's ready to expand and make it explode and make it bigger. So both of them are in agreement. They're making this conjunction. But Saturn's going to say, no, let's conserve here. Jupiter's going to say, no, let's go here and let's make it bigger here. So we've got this energy that's going to kind of tug of war at each other. But this is really necessary, because that tug of war is going to cause an explosion to happen at some point, or an implosion, if you will. And this is all centered around, yes, us as individuals, but communities, friend groups. This is all 11th house shit. All the things that Aquarius represents. So our communities, social media, technology, science. Aquarius is the genius and the scientist of the zodiac. We've got Mercury making a trine to Uranus this week, right after we've got this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, which is awesome because Mercury trine Uranus is downloads of genius ideas, flashes of insight, new, interesting, different, eccentric, not afraid to talk about weird things, unorthodox ways of doing things. This is what Aquarius is all about. Saturn can be rather conservative. He can be rather stoic and cold. His energy can be focused on maintaining things as they are, but this is good. Jupiter's really going to reach out into the future, but Saturn's going to focus on what we already have going here. What do we already have in place that's working? What do we have that is not working? That's what Saturn's going to bring to the chopping block. And both Saturn and Jupiter are in agreement. Is this serving people as a whole? Is this serving the global collective as a whole? Is this working any longer? You know, when Jupiter, Saturn, when they were in Capricorn, they were really focused on those Capricorn themes: government, corporations, monetary systems, structures, laws, regulations. Now they're focused on what we're going to do with what we've learned there and apply it to all of the individuals who make up that collective. This is the collective time and restructuring. You could call this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction a expanding restructuring, okay? And this is more about getting all of these things. They're kind of giving me the term socialism. Someone just said socialism is more of this energy that we're moving toward. I'm not saying that's exactly what it is, but it's more about not necessarily distributing the wealth, but distributing the knowledge, empowering all of these people who make up this collective or this whole human unit, giving them all the same tools and the same opportunities. Because Jupiter is all about opportunities. He's optimistic, he's benevolent. Saturn, he's not always nice, but he rewards us for our hard work. So there are a lot of changes happening to communities, to corporations, to groups as a whole. Saturn is ready to restructure, and our monetary systems are really going to be hit, I feel. The way that money and exchange of goods, it's going to shoot into the future. We're really opening our minds to new possibilities. This is really on a collective level going to show itself in the next couple of years and in the next year as Jupiter and Saturn constantly make this dance with each other throughout 2021. But this will affect us on a singular or individual level as well. And this is exciting shit. I am so excited because we are going to see new technologies being announced, new scientific breakthroughs, and not just about a vaccine. These are new cellular research, epigenetics, vibrational medicine, they're saying. Diet. There's going to be a new diet. Now, how is that coming in? I understand. So there's a lot of changes happening to us on a cellular level because of the ascension process. And all of these cosmic energies are affecting us on different levels. But there's going to be new scientific breakthroughs that we are coming to, and new awarenesses of certain diet. Vibrationally, people's diets are changing, our bodies are changing. So the kind of information we're going to pull in to support this new change is going to happen in 2021. It'll continue. This will spiral out. There's a new beginning. Whenever there is a conjunction, conjunctions are a completion of one cycle and the beginning of another one. Think of a new moon, where the sun and the moon have conjoined. It's sun conjunct the moon. Well, the moon has finished one moon cycle and is now beginning another one. We are in a new 20-year cycle, but dare I say a new thousands of year cycle that's going to begin tomorrow on that winter solstice point. Now, this is not the end of the world. There's not going to be some huge solar flash, which will happen at some point, that is so cosmically huge that we all have superpowers and we all become psychic and telepathic. This is a slow progression that we're moving toward, even though this is something that we are moving toward. Kendra says, what guidance can you give me this week? Maybe to expand on my feedback. Kendra, when you say what guidance can I give you, okay, they're already going to give me some guidance. Okay, that was easy. So, first of all, you're not spending enough time outside. So, let me give her just a little bit of my focus. You're not spending enough time outside. There's a lot of, I don't know if you're feeling a lot of the lightheadedness and the dizziness that's going on around right now. Also, the fatigue that's been happening. We need to be grounding our energies. Yes, it's colder right now, but getting around trees. I don't know if you already have a garden or if there's a specific garden that you usually go to, but there apparently are some kind of greenery or some type of flowers that are still in bloom because it hasn't frozen yet. We need to be out around this. It feels like a garden you've done, or there's some type of plants that you're around that you've planted, and we need to be around this energy more natural. We need to also be watching our slow down. We also need to be watching sodium intake, but also elevating some of other minerals. Magnesium, definitely one because you're having some sleep issues. And it's not consistent. It feels like sometimes we don't have a problem with sleep, sometimes we have a problem getting to sleep and we're waking up. And this is very normal right now in the collective. We have a lot of ascension symptoms, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. But with this Jupiter-Saturn energy that's coming in, this is about new beginnings, shooting us into the future. So many breakthroughs, so many things we're going to come to conclusions about for ourselves as well, especially this week as we've got a lot of Lilith and Chiron energy at play. Mercury trine Chiron. Or excuse me, Mercury square Chiron. Sun square Chiron. So and squares are not always bad, but there's a lot of conclusions that we're going to come to and realizations we're going to come to. Mercury trine Uranus is really going to awaken us, awaken our mind to something new that's coming. There's a lot of new energy that's coming in. But we are also going to experience a very powerful Mars square Pluto energy coming in this week, and this is the third and final one. The other two that we experienced this year, I think Mars and Pluto were both retrograde for one of them. But I think it was Pluto that was retrograde for the first one, and then they were both retrograde for the second one. And when the planets are retrograde, their energies are weakened, and now they're both direct. Pluto is going to win. He is the great transformer. His energy is much stronger, much more transformative, than Mars. Mars is that divine masculine energy, how we get what we want, how we take action on things. That's needed, and that's very much a part of this conversation that's being had. But Pluto will swallow Mars whole. I mean, let's just be real about that. So this Mars square Pluto energy, they're trying to dominate each other's energy. Pluto's definitely going to win. There's going to be transformation to the way we do things, how we get things done. But this is stimulating a lot of frustration, a lot of anxiety I'm hearing for some, but a lot of frustration and anger. Mars has been in Aries for an extraordinary amount of time this year. So a lot of us have been quicker to anger and frustration. Lots of screaming, lots of getting things out. This is necessary. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with expressing anger. So this is going to cause a lot of that. And this was what came up earlier when I got a little download. They're talking about violence in the world with Jupiter and Saturn entering Aquarius. Aquarius is the social justice sign. Justice usually can be attributed also to Libra, but Aquarius is all about, I mean, look what happened in March and April when Saturn went into Aquarius. He dipped his toe into Aquarius, got to 1 degree before he went retrograde and went back into Capricorn. But that was the time that the Black Lives Matter movement really came to a head and exploded. And I'm not saying it's a good thing and that Good job, Saturn, for making that happen. No, it's just a response to this energy, as we are all responding to these energies individually and collectively. But with Mars square Pluto, we saw a lot of destruction in the world and a lot of chaos that happens around this energy. And it's Christmas time when this is happening. If I'm not mistaken, Mars square Pluto happens just 2 days before Christmas. So this will be sitting in a lot of people, and they're showing me other countries, a lot of destruction and chaos that will ensue, a lot of government types of things, and I don't even really know where they're showing me. I do see an Asian country, some type of rising up, some type of injustice that's happening. But with Mars square Pluto, we want to stand up. We're ready to fight the power. And that's what Aquarius is all about. So Mars square Pluto is getting our blood boiling, and I do feel we are going to start to see an uprising of social justice and humanitarian issues coming forward. But the Black Lives Matter movement was just a precursor to what we are going to see in 2021. And Mars square Pluto really, it's like an explosion. That is really kind of like throwing a bomb over there, and it's exploding. Whatever exploded is never going to be the same. There's going to need to be rebuilding, and Saturn has come in his Aquarius armor to rebuild our future. That's what this is all about. So thank you everyone for joining me tonight for my weekly cosmic forecast. Real quick, I do want to talk a little bit about some ascension symptoms before I go. Please know that extreme fatigue is still running rampant. There's a lot of head pressure, a lot of tingling in the crown. There is a lot of digestive changes that are still happening right now as energies are streaming in. We are doing a lot of clearing in our dream time. So it probably feels like you are worn out when you wake up in the morning. A lot of people are feeling depressed. They're feeling anxious as soon as they wake up. It's because they experienced a lot in their dream time. It's okay. I want everyone to realize what's happening as you are going through a lot of things subconsciously. You are processing your day, but you're pulling a lot of things from the subconscious to the surface during your dream time when you are at rest or trying to rest, because a lot of our sleep is being disturbed right now. And you are pulling that to the surface, so when you wake up, it's okay to cry or scream or do that in the shower in the morning, because there's a lot of things that have surfaced at that time. They're showing me a lot of the body heat, temperature changes, fluctuations, body twitches. I'm feeling the dizziness, the lightheadedness, the vertigo. The teeth, the jaw pain is still there for some. Ear stuff. There's a lot of some people getting the ear pressure, but a lot of buzzing and ear ringing, and it'll happen one side or the other. People seeing things out of the corner of their eye. There's a lot of visual changes that are still happening. So everyone, and they're really going to reinforce the diet. There's a lot of shift towards a new diet that's happening for some. These are not rules. This is based on what you're clearing, where you are vibrationally, and where your energy is. A lot of people not honoring this. Well, and I'm going to say, well, duh, it's Christmas time. We just had Thanksgiving. So in the new year, let's start really not being hard on ourselves about this, but noticing what's working for our bodies anymore and what isn't. There is a lot of pain and pressure that will happen in the solar plexus and digestive area still. And a lot of sexual stuff that's coming to the surface as well. A lot of people clearing a lot of sexual things and going through things of that nature. I myself included. Okay, so just everyone, please be patient with yourself. We need to be resting as much as possible. Drinking lots and lots of water. Water will help to clear a lot of this. Our DNA is purging. It is releasing a lot of toxins or lower vibrational energies, densities that are held in our DNA. It's surfacing. It's being released into our system. We've got to be clearing this. We need to be honoring a lot of that whole process. These energies that are coming in are very strong. They can knock some of you right on your back. If you're laying around in bed, don't feel guilty about it. If you are not feeling well, physically, mentally, try to be patient with yourself and not freak out. These are parts of this. This is only going to get stronger. There will be a point where you start to heal things and you start to see the results of that. But for many of you, we are starting tomorrow. We are about to see a new wave of people wake up and go through a lot of this process that a lot of you all watching have already been on, and you all are already trying to help your friends go through it. Then they're going to reiterate relationships again. Not necessarily friendships, but noticing certain relationships that we have with family and with our partners that are no longer working or need adjusting. Maintain those boundaries, they're saying. So, thank you everyone for joining me tonight for the weekly cosmic forecast and ascension energy update. Again, my name is Christopher. I'm the AstroMedium. If you're not already following me on Instagram, you should. It's at the@the.astromedium. Also, I take energy exchange donations. You can do that through Venmo, venmo.com/Christopher with a Y dash Hancock, Hancock. That link is in the description box below. Also, if you'd like to book a reading with me, you can go to my website at www.christopherwithayMedium.com. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I am usually always available. I set boundaries too, but this is what I feel I'm here for. I am an awakening and ascension facilitator. I want to help you. I want to help you navigate these energies with ease. We are all in this together. All right. I will see you all next week here on Soulfire for another weekly cosmic forecast. Be there or be square.